Hi, my name's Sarah Holding and I'm the author of the brand new book Chameleon, and in today's video, which is the sixth in my series of short videos talking about the ideas that have gone into the story, I just want to talk about the framing device that I've used. It was actually something that came quite late on in the process when I realised that readers will probably want to understand the kind of contemporary reception of the findings that the story of Chameleon represents. So basically you've got three ancient documents that have been uncovered at different times and in different places, and they've come to the attention of an archaeologist called Dr. Camille Ian. And she has found the Dogon scrolls, which were discovered somewhere in the middle of Mali, a series of clay tablets that they're calling the Sphinx Codex that were found underneath the Sphinx statue in Giza in Egypt, in the Hall of Records. And then thirdly, they found a series of things that they thought were kind of some kind of necklace, a very interesting necklace composed of a series of disc-like beads, which then turned out to have encoded onto them another document that was translated by a very smart intern working for Dr. Camille Ian. And once she realised that these three stories actually tied up and they talked about the same characters and they were basically describing the same series of calamitous events, she reached out to a climate scientist who was known as a thinker who entertained slightly more controversial ideas and theories about climate change and about our ancient past and when, in fact, climate change may have happened previously. And this character, Professor Ian Cliff in Australia, initially doesn't respond very well to her query. He thinks she's been taken in by an enormous hoax and that this massive revision of human history that it would require and a rethinking of climate change per se is not something he's prepared to engage with at first. But she persists, and in the first instance she only sends him a few of the Dogon scrolls and a little bit of the Sphinx Codex to whet his appetite. And when she sees he needs further convincing, she sends him the first early translation of the Syrian discs that account for Cam's contribution to the story. And it's at that point that he becomes intrigued. He starts to see that there's a correlation and a validation between some of the events that are described taking place back in Atlantean times 12,000 years ago and some of the events that have been unfolding in recent times that are indicative of extreme climate change. And that's when he decides to take Camille up on her invitation and travel to London to meet her there and discuss how they might collaborate to put together a kind of coherent narrative that reframes our understanding of our ancient history and also of our understanding of where climate change might be leading. So if you found that interesting, then I think you're going to really enjoy the way that I've structured Chameleon, and particularly the article at the end, What on Earth Can Atlantis Teach Us?, which I will be publishing as a standalone piece. It's a kind of fake, futuristic newspaper article. You can obtain Chameleon now in paperback and Kindle editions if you go to Amazon or all the other online retailers. And also you can purchase signed copies of the book from my website, sarah-holding.com. And don't forget to leave me a comment below because I'd love to know what you think.